Hi, I want to go over a little bit about the orders card. This is a relatively new thing that we have been introduced to as a practice. I mean, it's been around for a couple of months, but there is some significant functionality that happens inside of the orders card that I'm not quite sure we know how to take full advantage of yet. So this review is, I mean, there's several other videos that I've done related to the specific aspects of the orders card, but I wanted to kind of walk through sort of a multifaceted everything all in one spot as it relates to orders card. So two ways to get into an orders card. Number one is if you are in a particular note. Notice I have a test patient pulled up here. I'm going to just go to a therapy follow-up note. You can come here to the add linked section and you can click on order. That might be the easiest way to do it. You can also come down to the card section and click on the orders and click the plus button. If you don't see this button here, it's because you probably have not selected the button in the customization section that gives you orders. Notice that I got to that by clicking on this little customize gear in AMD and then coming down and making sure that orders is an option that is selected as a chart card. So I'm going to click on this little plus sign right here and it's going to bring up an order. One of the advantages of doing that from the patient note is it's going to actually give your facility there. If you don't have a facility, you just need to enter in a facility location. So that's not a big deal. But the real elements that's going to be addressed is in this second tab that's called tests. You actually have some control in your preferences over of AMD as to what you default this to. I've set mine to default to medical records because that's the thing that I most likely use. But I want to just kind of start up at the top and we'll just go through each one of these things. If you're ordering a gene site test, that's the first thing you'll select. You hit gene site. Obviously, only a certain number of us have the capacity to order a gene site test, but that's where the gene site tests are happening. Any imaging that particularly our prescribers need to order, it comes through there. And also want to let you know that there's subsets inside of companies. So right now we're in their imaging. And you can see over here, there are other things that I have the opportunity to select. So if I wanted to do MRI imaging, I have other options that are there. If I want to order a test for a PET scan, there's things that go there. So that's an underrated little feature that we're going to exploit a little bit more today as we kind of go on. So if we come down into the instructions that we would give to patients, do I give an instruction to return to clinic in a certain amount of time? And notice there aren't any other subsets there. If I'm sending something directly to LabCorp, I've got all types of different options that I can send there. There's also this interface testing, I think is not really being used yet, but this LabCorp gives us all types of options to be able to order labs. This is mainly for our prescribers, specific just labs in general that we have the opportunity to order. Notice there's a bunch of different lab options that exist in this panel that we can order from. Medical equipment that's there if that needs to be ordered. Those are some things that we have the opportunity to order where all of us, both therapists as well as prescribers, are going to be involved as it relates to putting a patient on medical leave and or extending the patient's medical leave or sending a return to work letter. All of those things that are there. Just make sure, particularly if you're selecting the return to work letter, that you're putting the actual comment, the actual date in the comment section. That comment section is right down here to be able to say what the actual return to work date is going to be. I'm going to unselect that for now. There's also request letters here that we can send under medical records if we need to send to medical records, particularly for those working with students, anything related to school related like IEPs, that are 504 plans, anything that's going to associate with there. That's where we have some of those opportunities for some of those to request medical records to send those things. Anytime we're referring for psychological and neurological testing to our impact center, that all happens in this particular box. It's a great idea to be able to select those, the particular test that you want. Also, if the patient is only speaking Spanish, you want to make sure you select this box as well. You see that in a couple of different spots as we go for Quest is, additional some of those Quest labs that we're going through, similar to LabCorp. The place where we're having the kind of some of the biggest questions currently are inside of this referrals tab. What I would encourage you to kind of consider is if you are making a referral for a patient, try to be as general as you possibly can in what you wanting to select and or be as triage what those needs are for that patient. So for example, if you select like 6 or 7 of these things, that's going to very much so limit the number of people that have those particular specialties listed in their charts. So it makes it really challenging for the referral team to know who to follow up with that person. So if you were saying, look, I need somebody that can do parent-child interaction therapy, that also does CBT, that is, very much so trauma focused because this patient's going through some trauma and they probably need some EMDR. Well, man, that narrowed down our list to like 1 or 2 people, and that 1 or 2 person might not have the availability. That 1 or 2 people might not be on the insurance panel, those sort of things. So I would just encourage you as a prescriber, if they need all of those things, something you might be able to put in the comment is, hey, what is the most important thing that they're going to be needing? Hey, they really need somebody to focus on their trauma, and the other stuff is not important, or they really need to focus on the parent-child interaction. That helps the referral team be able to know exactly what to be able to do. And once you make the appropriate referrals that you want to be able to make, honestly, anything in the orders, you're going to sign off on it like any other chart note item. You hit the sign button, it's going to pop up the box for you to be able to sign it. If you have not entered in a facility location, for example, if that's blank and you hit sign, it's going to give you a message saying they can't they can't sign a note without a lab location. That lab location is not where you are wanting the patients to have services to be done. That is where you are currently located when you are delivering the order. So just making sure that if you don't see something there, you're going to go. So for me right now, I'm in the ACOE office. So I'm going to click ACOE. And then when I sign, it gives me the option just to sign off on it like any other chart note. So just kind of a comprehensive overview of what the overall order section looks like. If you have any questions, please give us a call, and more than happy to help answer whatever I can.